Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. We are back. We just had a sweet fighter spotlight with Mark Panda Gonzalez.
The Kung Fu Panda.
The Kung Fu Panda. I'm stoked for Mark's fight, man.
I mean, okay, he's not here, so I won't. He's not here, so I can give you the lowdown for real now with Mark. You ready?
You've told me before, but you can tell everybody else because,
dude,
I know.
I'm telling you, he's terrifying. He's so nice and he's humble and he's kind whatever. Dude, So here's the thing, and I don't think he'd mind me sharing this. He did something in his very first fight. He got a very first fight. It was a super heavyweight fight, and it was for a title because there aren't a lot of super heavyweights. And I think Mark's a good dude, and the guy that he fought, whatever. And so for whatever reason, Stillfist decided to make it a title fight. Whatever, no big deal. It was fun. It was for the fans. It benefits the fighters. Like, all good. Props to Stillfist for putting a belt on that for that. It's cool. Cool fight, Fun fight. Mark had this habit where he didn't really like getting hit in the face. And I mean, I don't know too many crazy people that don't like getting hit in the face. Like, I mean, you get to a point where you don't mind, but nobody likes to get cracked in the face, right?
No.
But like, I've got to the point where like, I have no problem getting hit in the face. Like, I don't want to get cracked in the face, right? There's a difference.
Yeah.
Mark had, and so he would turn his back. And so I was in his corner and I was screaming at him. I remember screaming at him, like, I don't care if you get knocked out, quit turning your back.
Yeah.
Because to me, for the fighter, that's not intelligently defending yourself. I think a ref could stop the fight if somebody's turning their back. That's not intelligently defending yourself. So I told Mark, and I was very blunt and I was very honest with him. And I said, I don't think you should take another fight again. Till you're a heavyweight until you can stop turning your back.
Yeah.
Well, he did take one more fight at super heavyweight against Trent, but he doesn't turn his back anymore. He trains like a maniac now. Like, before he was training and like he wasn't doing it wrong or it wasn't that he wasn't training hard enough. He did all that. He was training. He's a part of the fight team. Like, everybody respected the work he was putting in. But dude, getting ready for that Trent Lee fight, he took his dedication to a whole new level, to the point where he was losing so much weight we were worried he wouldn't.
I remember
super heavyweight. He was losing it so fast. He was so all in on his nutrition. He was working so hard at the gym, sometimes 2 a days. Like, you could just see this incredible transformation. And now he's got this confidence about him. And now it was like Mark used to be a guy in the training room that you knew, like, okay, like, I'm just faster than him. So like, you couldn't, it wasn't like an easy round, because if he did land something, it hurt because he was so big. He is so big and strong. But like, you knew that, you could, I knew I was faster than him, so I could get in and out and not really get hit and whatever. That is not the case anymore. You have to be like on your game with Mark, or else he will land something and it will hurt. And he turned into one of those guys that it was like, like he trains, he's with the team, to like, no, like, he's one of the guys that like he's doing the extra stuff right too now. And I'm just super proud of him and super impressed. And he's come so far. And dude, anybody who wants to take bets and want to bet on the Wyoming boy, no offense, I know he's a tough guy, like, good guy. It's nothing personal against him. I just don't believe he's on Mark's level.
I like it. It's going to be good.
He's my teammate. Maybe I'm biased, maybe not. But I've seen the work that Mark puts in, and I fully believe in him.
It's going to be a great night. You know what else is going to be a great night? While we're watching Steel Fist, there's going to be UFC 271, Adesanya versus Whittaker, the rematch, baby. We'll have to catch that Sunday morning.
Are we just going to pretend that Izzy's nipple is normal still?
You know whose nipple is not? You know whose nipple is not normal is William Knight.
Oh, he's another one. Are we just going to pretend that guy's not on all the juice?
He's on all the gas. Yeah. I saw that when he took off his shirt to the weigh-in. I'm like, you better start. God. You need to get some.
He didn't even look that depleted.
No, he didn't want to be there to me. He just was like, whatever.
And we'll talk about it. But you're from that world. I'm not trying to speculate or anything, but like Izzy, like that, that little droopy nipple. That, like, what is that?
It's usually it's a sign of estrogen, but Izzy doesn't look like.
Why would that be an issue, Jason? Educate the
because
people.
he's taking things to make his estrogen levels are higher, and he's not taking the stuff to combat that.
He's not taking an estrogen blocker.
Yes, which is really weird because he's around a lot of educated people. Like, I follow like a lot of the nutritionists. I follow the their mind coach that they have down there. Yeah, it just I mean maybe he's just born like that. I don't know, but it just doesn't look like
he's not though, because we've seen him fight without it. That's a new thing.
I mean, part of me feels.
I have a question.
Maybe I should. Yeah.
So a big one, and I'm not trying to accuse him or anything, but a big one is HGH helps with recovery a lot, right?
Oh yeah, it's a huge recovery one.
Does that boost your estrogen?
I'm not too familiar with the HGH stuff. I was
going to say, I could see a fighter, like while he's out of fight camp and stuff, taking HGH to recover from an injury or something. That's like remember when Andy Pettit got popped for steroids?
Yeah.
For the Yankees? He popped because he got stunned by a bee. He popped. No. What he popped for was HGH. And if you remember, what the funniest thing was? All the people that deny it and then get caught, they're vilified forever. Nobody cares about Andy Pettit though, because he just owned it. He goes, "Yep, I had an injury. I took HGH to recover faster because I wanted to get back to helping my team." And nobody cared that he took steroids.
So the thing is, usually the guys that are taking that are taking testosterone with the HGH because it even further enhances that.
Oh gosh.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I probably shouldn't even say this. This is just my opinion. I think it's more prevalent in the UFC than we're led on to believe. Like, I think a lot of the guys are.
You saw it as not as unbeatable as they say it is?
Yeah. I'm.
That's what you think?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Your expert opinion in that world?
I just feel at that level in any pro sports, I'm sorry, but I just those guys are elite athletes.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So man, this is where I wasn't even thinking.
Going off on a tangent.
Going off on a tangent. So I know somebody who had a son that was a very, very talented high school football player.
Mm-hmm.
And he was getting recruited by everybody as a junior in high school, right?
Yeah.
Utah, Oregon, Utah State, BYU. I mean, everybody locally, and then like USC, Oregon, Boise State. A lot of the big programs from around here, getting recruited by Oklahoma, got letters from all of them. He's a stud, and he was built like he's a farm boy, just built like a workhorse.
Yeah.
And his dad played college ball at the University of Wyoming. And his dad came to him after his junior year and said, "Okay, we're going to have a serious conversation. How serious are you about football?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Serious." He's like, "You want to go play Division I college football?" "Yes." "You want to go to the NFL?" "Yes." And he goes, How are you going to stay on that level?" "I'm going to outwork him." And he's like, "Don't be naive." And he goes,
"Yeah."
He told him, he goes, if you really want to be on that elite level to compete with those guys, you gotta take something. And
these guys,
and he decided that he said, "No, I'm good enough. I don't need to take something." Now, unfortunately, he blew out his ACL and he lost all of it. His senior year, lost all of his offers, and then he became a beach bum in Florida. And good for him. Like, doing summer sales and chilling at the beach in Florida doesn't sound like a bad alternative to college football. But like, you have to have that conversation. And it's like, can you get to that level being clean?
I think there's people that can, but do they? I'll give you an example. I have a story similar to that, but this is a guy that I know that played Major League Baseball, and it was in the clubhouse. The team doctors were giving it to these guys.
Oh,
he's like half the time he didn't even know. He didn't know the dosage. He's like, "I don't know this. Know what it was." He's like, I had no clue. You're a 20, 21-year-old kid. You don't know what's going on. And I can tell you for a fact in the bodybuilding world, because it's there. And I can tell you right now, if you're trying to be a pro in the bodybuilding world, you are not getting to that level. You are not competing at a national level. You can compete locally. To go to that national level, you're not doing it without taking stuff. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
it's. I'm not saying I recommend it. In fact, I tell people don't take it. But
there is
like
a
you said,
very notable all-time great MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Not John Jones. I'm not talking about John Jones. Everybody knows whatever.
Yeah.
There's a notable all-time great people. Try not to give it away. But he's very, very notable all-time great MMA fighter, UFC Hall of Fame champion. If he's not in the Hall of Fame, he will be. But, he's great. And I know someone that spent time around him and in his home, opened his fridge once and just it was full of everything. And he was like, and it was like a little bit like of a bummer for him, And then they told him, and they said, if you want to get on that level, this is what it takes. And I'm just like,
I'm not saying somebody couldn't get there, but to compete at that level and to stay there, let's face it, it helps. Like it does. It makes a difference at that level. That could be the difference of getting that contract and not getting that contract, honestly.
But like I look at who do I look at in the UFC that I would just be like,
but as far as like recovery stuff, I mean, hey man, if it's going to get me back quicker from recovery, I'm all about that life. Like if it's going to help my knee repair faster, whatever.
Well, it's like
why not?
So this is what I'm curious about. So Uriah Faber and Cody Garbrandt have constantly been calling out TJ Dillashaw and said, "Oh yeah, he's been on stuff the whole time," and they knew it, right?
Yeah.
Now, TJ's like the villain, right? And everybody loves Uriah Faber, and then most people liked Cody. Then probably maybe not as much now. I don't know, but they were like the good guys in it, right? Team Alpha Male was still the good guys. TJ was the villain. How good of a guy are you if your teammate's taking it and you just keeping your mouth shut and turning another blind eye? Or were you doing it too? And TJ just has the.
I mean, if
TJ just has the class or honor, if you will, to be like, man, I don't know what they're talking about. Like they were taking it too, but if they want to call me out for it, like go for it. I mean, how else do you know if you're like, you know what I mean?
If somebody at your gym was doing something, chances are you're gonna know.
Like
if you're in a room, if you're for 5-6 days a week with guys 3 hours a day, you're gonna know something. You're gonna know.
High school football. Like I knew on my high school football team who was on stuff and who wasn't.
Yeah, which
I
is
wasn't.
insane.
I couldn't even wait.
At that age, it's insane.
But like you said, we saw a certain fighter at the fierce fights and at weigh-ins, and you could just look at him and you're like,
oh, 100%. I could spot it clear as day.
Like, come on, dog. I'm not gonna. I've been in the gym. I've been around the sport enough, not like you, but I've been around the sports enough to know to be like, that's a natural body. Like you look at Cole Fast, that's a natural body. That's hard work. That's dedication. That's right. That's an all natural body. I have no problem coming on here and saying, without a doubt in my mind, natural.
Yep.
And then I've seen other people at the gym, and I just look at them. I'm like, come on, dog. Like you see like their high school pictures, and you see what they look like as an adult now, and you're just like that doesn't pass the sniff test. Yeah. But Izzy, I look at Izzy's body. Sorry, I have it the embedded on the TV right here next to me. And I look at Izzy and I don't see like a body that it's like he's on like muscle building stuff because his game is being so long and fast and everything. But I could see like something like HGH to help with recovery for him.
HGH with maybe a little bit of maybe his testosterone levels are already high and he's injecting more and it's making his estrogen levels out of whack. It could be a million different things, or it just could be, who knows?
Unfortunate genes. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
Go Bobby Knuckles.
I just think it's more prevalent than we're led to believe in any sport, honestly.
Well,
Pro sport.
can USADA really I don't know. I just feel like USADA is limited, right? Like I've always said it. Like crime is always one step ahead of the law.
Yeah.
Right?
There's ways around it. There's ways around it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if they're like, hey, you can have, hey, we have this testing here. Right as that testing's rolled out.
She hasn't seen him yet, huh?
I guess not. All right, babe. I'll show you Izzy's nipples.
Show you so you can see what we're talking about.
I'll lift up my shirt right now.
Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean? Like when USADA rolls out and say, hey, we have this new test, right?
Mm-hmm.
These athletes are already paying their chemists or whatever, whoever, and be like, okay, this is the test that needs to be beat now. And they're already putting tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, in saying, okay, because once they can go and say, like, hey, by the way, you saw this new test? We've been able to beat it for 3 months. Cool. And, how much money do you need?
Yeah. Crazy. Should we break down this card?
I guess. Stop talking about nipples.
Nipples. Let's talk about.
Okay, real funny story, real quick.
Okay.
Quinn used to be obsessed with his nipples. My 6-year-old when he was little, and we used to ask him how many nipples he'd have, and he'd say 3, and he'd point to his belly button for his 3rd nipple, and he would go nipple, nipple, nipple. It's the funniest thing ever. All right, I'm done with nipples.
All right, no more nipples. All right, so this was going to be at the light heavyweight division, but it has since moved up to the heavyweight division since William Knight weighed in at 218 pounds for light heavyweight. We got William Knight fighting Maxim Griffin. William Knight is 11-2, stands 5'10" with a 63-inch reach. Griffin 31 9-2. He stands 6'3" with a 76-inch reach. Dude,
Maxim
you miss
all day.
How do you miss weight by 12 pounds? Do you even care? He didn't even try. We were talking about this morning at fight camp, and Hector asked Joel, would you take the fight if somebody missed that weight? And he's like, hell yeah, I would. I'd take their 40%. He's like, because they didn't try. I know they didn't have the camp to beat me. He's like, I wouldn't be worried at all.
So we have a certain fighter who is, maybe I shouldn't say this. Yeah, I'll leave that alone. But I will say, I'll say this: it's there's a mental thing knowing like if somebody suffered like you did. But again, so there's a mental edge, right? Yeah. I was talking about this with one of my teammates. His opponent had made a weight class. For example, I'm just going to throw it out there. His opponent has made 145 in the past. This isn't the case. I'm just trying to mix it up.
Yeah, I got you.
And if he comes and he's a 145er and he goes, I walk around 160. Can we just do 155 so we don't have to cut weight as much? The person that was willing to cut to 145 already won. He already has a mental edge.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So when you talk about cutting weight and missing weight, that's step one. I had another conversation with another fighter this morning, and they asked me what the definition of a professional, or the definition of a professional fighter was. Like what one thing. I've always said, if you're a professional, you should always be able to make weight, your weight class, within 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The next step of being a professional is knowing if you're taking a short notice fight, which William Knight is. Maxim Griffin was originally supposed to fight Ed Herman at 205.
Yep, correct. Yep.
The other part of being a professional is going, you know what? I'm sorry, I can't. There's no way I'm going to make 205 in that amount of time. Can this be a heavyweight bout, but we can agree to not weigh over 220?
Yeah.
I promise I can be under 220 by then. You know what I mean? Like that, to me, that's part of being a professional. Just signing to be like, yeah, I'll sign, and then the weight not coming off and just showing up 12 pounds over, that's unacceptable. And he should be. I'm surprised they didn't ding him more than 40%.
40%, yeah. He's getting dinged. All right, so we're both on Griffin. Next up in the welterweight division, we got Jeremiah Wells versus Blood Diamond. Oh, is that not the coolest freaking name in the UFC? Your name's Blood Diamond.
Izzy's training partner.
I'm going to change my name to Blood Diamond.
No, you're not.
No, I'm
One,
not.
you're
But it's
white,
pretty.
so no, you're not.
That wouldn't.
Yeah, you know what? Go back to Flint, Michigan, and tell everybody your name's. Introduce
My
yourself
name's
as
Blood
Diamond.
Diamond.
See what happens.
They think I'm some
I
kind
have
of
a feel
drug
like
lord or
I
something.
have a feeling your blood would just be everywhere.
They would think I'm. Jeremiah Wells is 9-2-1, stands 5'9" with a 75-inch reach. Blood Diamond is 3-0. He stands 5'11", 74.5-inch reach. I'm all over Wells on this one.
Dude, I wanted to take Blood Diamond. I really did, because like Izzy speaks very highly of him, but who's not going to speak highly of their opponent? Doesn't this feel like when Robert Whittaker's training partner that was 3-0 got a UFC contract?
Which he's on the card. Yeah, he's on the card.
Is he really?
Yeah, Jacob
Yeah,
Malkoun.
he is.
Yep.
Yeah, he is.
Dude, he starched the last guy he met.
Yeah, but the first one, it didn't go so well. Jeremiah Wells is no joke. Jeremiah Wells is no joke.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Wells wins this fight.
All right. Welcome to the UFC, Blood Diamond. I am taking the under on that one as well. Next up, we have Douglas Silva de Andrade against Sergey Morozov. Andrade is 27-4, stands 5'7" with a 68.5-inch reach. Morozov, 17-4. He stands 5'6" with a 67-inch reach. Morozov is a -220 favorite. Comeback is +180 on Andrade. Who you like him in this bantamweight showdown?
Sergey's from Kazakhstan.
Yep.
I'll take the guy from Kazakhstan, please. Thank you.
We don't even have to break that one down. Next up in the middleweight division, we just pass it. We just go. We already know. Podcast rules. It's rules. It is just rules of the podcast. They are on our board in our room.
And whenever we go against our rules, we usually regret it. So
we usually regret it. I don't bet against guys from Russia, Kazakhstan. If they wear a freaking wolf hat to the cage,
it's over.
It's over. I'm all in.
Time out. Can we pause this real quick?
Yeah.
Who's the Rakhmonov or whatever?
Yes.
Him and Chimaev are on a crash course for the two scariest 170ers ever.
Dude, did you watch that breakdown video I sent you? That guy did that, Mike Thomas. It's phenomenal.
But no, but seriously, doesn't it feel like those two are on a crash course to be the new face of 170?
Yes.
And like we're just dismissing Usman.
We're just like, well, who cares about Usman? Next up is another one of Izzy's training partners, Jacob Malkoun versus AJ Dobson.
This is Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker.
Oh, Robert Whittaker. Whittaker's training partner, Malkoun. He's 5'1", stands 5'9" with a 73-inch reach. Dobson is 6-0, stands 6'1" with a 77-inch reach. Huge height and reach advantage for Dobson in this one. And pretty much even fight. Dobson. Yep. Dobson coming off of a Contender Series win about 4 months ago. And Malkoun, if you remember right, he fought Phil Hawes, got knocked out, but then he came back and he starched.
He didn't starch anybody. He won a decision.
Al Hassan, he ended up beating. So,
and Al Hassan on that fight, I deemed I would never pick him again.
Because we both picked him. I think we both picked him.
Yeah, because Malkoun looked so bad. But I am going to pick Dobson. I actually think this is a gift at -110, -115. I think Dobson is the better fighter. He's more well-rounded. I think he wins.
He's a huge middleweight.
I think he wins, and I think he makes it look easy.
I do too. I gotta think at that level, when guys only have 6 fights, you're fighting a guy with a 3-4 inch reach advantage and a 3-4 inch height advantage. That's got to be pretty hard to overcome, isn't it? I mean, you're the fighter here, but to me, it's like, does Malkoun have enough experience to be able to?
It's one of the hardest things to learn how to overcome is size and reach, right?
Yeah.
But Malkoun, I just feel like there's enough bodies in that gym, and he's training with Robert Whittaker.
True.
Right. So Whittaker is probably training with guys that is his size, length, reach, right? So Malkoun probably is too. So it's I don't know, but yeah, give me Dobson all day, every day. I don't think Malkoun's a UFC caliber fighter. Not that he's not a really good fighter and very skilled and hardworking. I believe he's in the UFC because he's Robert Whittaker's friend, not because he earned it.
All right, next up in the bantamweight division, this should be a good one. Ronnie Lawrence against Mana Martinez. The Heat is 7-1, stands 5'8" with a 70.5-inch reach. Mana Boy is 9-2, stands 5'10" with a 70-inch reach. So pretty close height and reach. Lawrence is actually a huge favorite, -300 for Lawrence. The comeback is +240 for Martinez.
I mean, how do you not like
Dobson
Lawrence in this fight?
Legit.
What?
Roman says Dobson is legit.
Harsh words. Dobson is legit.
He is.
Yeah, he's a killer. No, I like. I actually really like Lawrence in this fight. I've watched. I remember watching Draco Rodriguez beat Martinez on Contender Series. Maybe that left a bad taste in my mouth, but I wasn't overly impressed with him. But I like Ronnie Lawrence a lot.
He had a lot of hype in going against Draco Rodriguez too.
I think Roman's talking about harsh words, saying that Malkoun probably doesn't belong in the UFC.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was a little bit behind.
Tell me I'm wrong. I'd be interested to see if Roman thinks that I'm wrong on that.
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow night.
Hey, Roman, I watched one of your fight videos, man. That was pretty dope. I like watching. I like that.
Oh, anyways, Roman's old fight videos are they're good.
They're freaking dope. Yeah. So I'm on Ronnie Lawrence on this one as well. Have we disagreed yet? Nope, not yet. It's coming. It's coming. All right, next up, we got another Australian, Carlos Olberg against Fabio Charant. Black Jag is 3-1. He stands 6'4" with a 77-inch reach. The Water Buffalo, 7-3, stands 6'1" with a 76-inch reach. Olberg is a -260 favorite. The comeback is +210 for Charant. Don't watch me fight. I suck then. No, you didn't, Roman. And I saw him hitting the bag at Phoenix PI a couple weeks ago too. And yeah, Roman knows what he's doing. Roman can crack.
So I want to pick Charant in this fight. I really do.
I kind of do. I do too. Kind of. I kind of do too.
I feel like Olberg came in with all this hype, right? He was only 3-0. Like, he's getting this push, and he gets knocked out in his UFC debut because he basically gassed out.
Yeah, wasn't he winning that fight? If I'm not mistaken, he was.
Yeah, he kind of pieced him up, but
he was piecing him up.
Really, really good boxing. You know, from City Kickboxing, one of his training partners. Like, really. Now, Charant, one, has a great TikTok. Two,
I haven't been on it. Oh yeah, I do follow him.
Two, he has heavy hands, but the problem is here's the problem that I see with Charant. He lost on the Contender Series, got a couple wins on LFA, takes a short notice fight against Alonzo Menfield, gets Von Flue choked in a minute, and then gets knocked out in the first round by William Knight. He was doing okay, but I picked him as an underdog against William Knight, and he was doing okay until he got caught.
Yep.
But all three times he's gotten to the UFC level, he's 0-3. Contender Series and in UFC, he's 0-3. I can't pull the trigger on him. I'm cheering for him.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I just said he has a good TikTok account because it's funny. Dude, he's the guy that calls out anybody that tries to be a tough guy on TikTok. He calls them out. It's a riot. But anyways, I think Olberg wins this fight, but I am cheering for Charant to get a win. But I am not confident. I would not bet on this at all.
I hate to agree with you so much on this card, but I actually think Olberg is going to fix that issue he had in his first fight, and he looked pretty darn good. I think he ends up getting a finish against Charant. But I'm going to echo what you said. I'm pulling for him because we know somebody that's had him on their podcast, and he has a great TikTok. So I'm pulling for him. I just think Olberg's going to be too much.
I hope he wins. He'll be sick.
Next up in the bantamweight division, we got Kyler Phillips against Marcelo Rojo. Phillips is 9-2, stands 5'8" with a 72-inch reach, and Rojo 16-7, stands 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. Pretty much dead even as far as height and reach. Phillips is a huge favorite. He might be the biggest favorite on the card. Minus 420. Comeback is plus 330.
Phillips by murder in this fight.
Yeah, I agree. He gets back on the winning track
in a big way.
Big way. Book it. All right. Next up.
I was one when I watched it live. It wasn't a robbery, but I actually thought he won his last fight.
Yeah, I did too, actually. Roxanne Modafferi fighting Casey O'Neill. Roxanne Modafferi fighting her retirement fight here. She stands 5'7" with a 69-inch reach. King O'Neill is 8-0. She stands 5'6" with a 69-inch reach. She's a heavy favorite, minus 400, plus 300. So comeback on Roxanne. Roxanne has made a career out of winning these underdog fights, but I don't think she does it against Casey O'Neill. Yeah, I think so too, Roman. I love the Happy Warrior.
I hate picking against Roxanne Modafferi, and I want to pick her so bad. She's like, I loved what Izzy said about her. Like, she's a gem of a human being, and if you don't like Roxanne Modafferi, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like, she is so cool and so nice. Like, I'd love to. They talked about she's been fighting longer. Like, when she started fighting, Ronda Rousey wasn't even in the Olympics for judo yet.
That's crazy.
Like,
that is crazy.
She's been around forever.
This is her 45th fight.
Yeah, I was about to say, is you ready for this?
Yeah.
She's a Hall of Famer. For what she's done in the sport and the length and pioneer of women's MMA, like, I think she deserves it.
Yeah, I could see that. I like it. I've always been a fan of hers.
I'm a big fan of hers. Right. Her attitude's awesome. She loses this fight.
She does.
Not even close.
We are still in the prelims. Next up in the heavyweight division, we got Andre Olowski against Jared Vanderer. Olowski is 32-20. Vanderer, the Mountain, is 12-6. Olowski stands 6'3" with a 77-inch reach. The Mountain 6'4" with an 80-inch reach. Oh yeah, is the old dog gonna teach the new dog some tricks? I don't think so.
Orlovsky's fought everybody.
I know. I'm taking the underdog. I'm taking the underdog.
I'm looking at this. I mean, listen to who he's fought.
Who hasn't he fought? That's what we should.
Tim Sylvia 3 times.
Did they really fight that much?
Verdum, Ben Rothwell, Roy Nelson, Fedor, Antonio Bigfoot Silva.
Time out. What were you doing in 1999? Because Andre Olowski was fighting in 1999. What were you doing in 1999?
I was 10 years old.
I was getting out of the Marine Corps. I was in the Marine Corps
10, 11 years old.
Wow. Crazy. Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry.
Anthony Rumble Johnson, Brennan Schaub, Bigfoot again, Travis Brown, Frank Mir, Stipe, Overeem, Josh Barnett, Francis, Ty Tuivasa.
Wow.
Rosenstruck, Tom Aspinall, Tanner Bowser. He's fought everybody.
Yeah, he really has. Are you going to go with the old dog? Are we going to disagree?
No, I'm going under Olowski.
All right, we're disagreeing. I'm going to take Vanderer. I think the young guy gets it done.
I'm kind of pulling for Vanderer, but yeah.
Another Hall of Famer, Andre Olowski. The dude's 43 years old. He's still banging in the UFC. That's crazy.
Hands down.
That's Randy Couture-ish. All right, so we're disagreeing on that one. We'll take it. Dude, we just finally, how many fights are on this card?
14.
14 fights. Man, it's going to be a long day tomorrow. Well, I take that back. We're not watching it because we're going to be a still fist.
Yeah.
Main card, Nasrat Hakparasat. I probably screwed that up against Bobby Green. Nasrat is 13-4. He stands 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. Bobby King Green is 28-12-1. He stands 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. Who do you like in this one?
I
Mr.
think that
Partridge.
Bobby Green beats him and makes it look easy.
You think he makes it look easy?
I do.
Man. Bobby Green's last two losses before were Thiago Moises and Rafael Fiziev, which is no shame.
I think Bobby Green picks him apart.
I'm going to agree with you on that one too. Dang it, I hate that. Zack will be watching it at Steelfist, and he probably will. You're probably right. Nah, not a Hunter's Party. You probably won't. No. Steelfist for sure. We for sure might have it up at Steelfist. What are you guys doing for Hunter's birthday? Where are you guys going?
Party at the house, dog.
Party at the house. All right, I'm going to agree with you, Bobby Green, on that one. Next up, we got Alexander Hernandez in the lightweight division. Alexander the Great Hernandez, Renato Moicano. Hernandez 13-4. He stands 5'9" with a 72-inch reach. Moicano 15-4-1. He stands 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. Moicano's minus 165 favorite. Comeback is plus 140 for Hernandez. It's a pretty good fight. I like this fight. You having a hard time with this one?
Yeah, because here's the thing. Hernandez is like, he was on this trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
And then he fought Cerrone. And remember, he was talking all that smack to Donald Cerrone.
Oh, he's talking so much smack. Yeah.
And Cerrone pieced him up.
Yes.
And then he gets a nice win against Francisco Trinaldo. And then he's back on the rise. And then Drew Dober pieces him up. And then he beats Chris Grutzmacher. And it's like, that guy's a borderline UFC guy anyways. It's like, okay. They give him a level up in a competition against Thiago Moises again. Gets ragdolled.
Yeah.
And then Mike Brennan knocks him out. I remember predicting that fight correctly, too.
I think you did, too.
Super stoked. But Moicano's a different animal. And I think he's on a train of win one, lose one right now. And I'm going to have to go with Moicano on this one, unfortunately.
Damn it. We're going to agree again. Maybe we'll disagree on the next one. In the middleweight division, Jared the Killer Gorilla Cannonier against Derrick Brunson. Cannonier is 14-5, stands 5'11" with a 77.5-inch reach. Brunson 23-7. He stands 6'1" with a 77.5-inch reach. Who you got? Cannonier is actually a minus 160 favorite. The comeback plus 140 for Brunson.
Give me Brunson at plus 140 all day long.
You know what worries me about Brunson? Is he hasn't shown the ability to take a punch. And if there's one thing we know about Cannonier, he can crack.
I know he can crack. Time out.
What?
He fought Edmund Shabazian, Kevin Holland, and Darren Till in his last 3 fights.
Yep.
All good strikers.
Yeah.
And he dominated all 3 of them.
I don't think any one of those.
Punch?
Are you saying Till, Holland, or Shabazian has anywhere near the punching power as Cannonier?
Maybe not the punching power, but I would say that Till is a better striker than
I agree.
Cannonier for sure.
I didn't say I was picking Cannonier.
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm with you. I think he just takes him down.
Yeah,
wears him out.
I'm all over Derrick Brunson on this fight. As an underdog, are you kidding me?
Shout out to the older guys. Both these guys in their late 30s, banging it out in the UFC still. Shout out. All right, I'm with you on that one. I'll take Brunson as an underdog in that one as well. All right, my fight of the night, in my opinion, the fight that I'm looking forward to the most, the Black Beast against Bam Bam. The Black Beast is 26-8, stands 6'3" with a 79-inch reach. Bam Bam 14-3, stands 6'2" with a 75-inch reach. Lewis is a minus 190 favorite. The comeback is plus 160 for Bam Bam. Let's hear it, Zach. What are your predictions on this one? I mean, somebody's getting knocked out.
You ready for the prediction?
Decision. Let's go into decision.
Sit back and relax. Sit back and relax because it's going to be fun.
What's the decision prop? Let's look that up.
It's gonna be something stupid, dude. It might actually, the value actually might be.
That's what I'm saying. It always happens that way. It all literally every time you think it's going to be an look at Gain and Ngannou. I don't think anybody thought that was going to go to decision. Fight goes to decision plus 350.
That's not worth it.
How about
I wanted like plus like 700?
Oh, I would have been all over that. Lewis by KO is minus 135. Tuivasa by KO plus 225. Give me Lewis by KO.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
You ready?
And
The
he's
longer the fight goes, I believe the better that it is for Tai Tuivasa. I think Tai has better conditioning than Derrick Lewis.
Are they
Derrick
really
Lewis? Time out.
Okay.
Derrick Lewis has come out and said how he doesn't want any part of 5-round fights. He's sick of training and conditioning for him. And if you watch, like, his output is just minimal. He uses minimal effort and he waits for you to come into range and then he strikes, right?
Yep.
It's this whole game plan. If you're Tai Tuivasa, like, why? Like, I could see Tai just kind of staying on the outside and throwing those little leg kicks and stuff and outpoint. Dude, it's weird because Derrick Lewis, it's a little bit like Izzy, right? If you don't come at Izzy, he is fine just staying on the outside and just little leg kicks and just hanging out and just whatever.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to rush in on Izzy because then you're going to get smoked.
Yeah.
Derrick Lewis is very similar. Derrick will he'll put his back on the cage and he'll wait for you to engage.
Yeah.
And that's when he strikes. So my question is, when Derrick Lewis sits back, is Tai going to recklessly come in and try and land bombs?
I wouldn't recommend it.
Huh?
I wouldn't recommend it.
I could actually see, what's the over under on this fight? Is it 1.5 rounds?
Yeah, 1.5.
I'm taking the over.
Over one, and it's pretty almost close to even money. Plus, a lot of places have it at plus 138, plus 145.
Yeah, give me the over because I really
Five
think
Dimes has it at plus 155.
Because what I really think is going to happen and could happen here is a lot of filling out in their respect. Not like Francis and Derrick Lewis, where they just refuse to engage at all.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I think that Ty's not dumb. He'll bring the fight, but he's not going to be reckless. This is a huge opportunity. If he beats Derrick Lewis, he moves into the top 5 of the heavyweight division. He's not going to be reckless and stupid and just run in and start throwing bombs with Derrick Lewis.
Yeah.
He's going to be careful and he's going to be calculated.
So you think Bam Bam does the shoey? How does he win?
Oh, Bam Bam can knock him out. Bam Bam can knock out Derrick Lewis. Derrick Lewis has been knocked out before. Like TKO knocked out.
Yeah. Who all? Gain, obviously, was the most recent one.
Yeah.
Who else knocked him out?
But I'm just saying, Bam Bam, like, dude, here's the thing. If anybody can beat Derrick Lewis in this type of a fight, it's Tai Tuivasa. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying Tai wins. I'm saying if anybody can, it's Tai. And it's two big heavyweights that are terrifying, weirdly respectful, like they both love each other, right?
I like it. I love it.
It's fun, but I think I think Derrick Lewis is accepted his role as the forever gatekeeper, and I think he's a little bit more relaxed now. I'm gonna pick Tai Tuivasa.
I don't hate it. We
talked
about before we went live.
And if anybody thinks they know what's going to happen in this fight, they're crazy. Because all it takes is one punch from either of them. And
either one of these guys. Hey, just sit back and enjoy it because the post-fight interview with the post-fight interview with whoever wins is going to be fire. Epic. All right, main event time. I don't know about you, but I'm just not that excited to see how. Okay, you're a fighter, right?
I
If
am.
you get your butt whooped, right, and KO'd, what's your mindset going into that rematch? Like, what do you? I just
There's a
don't.
couple things.
Yeah,
There's a couple things.
I'm like, I mean, psychologically, where's your mind at going in there? No, and I could see if it was a close decision, maybe it was a flash knockout where you just got caught.
We
Like,
we
if
we
you,
we've talked about this. When you
yeah,
lose a fight as a fighter, you have to figure out in your head why and justify why you lost
mhm,
that fight,
yeah,
so that you can have the courage to go back in there and do it again with confidence,
yeah,
right? Because if you go in there with no confidence, you're obviously going to lose.
yep.
Whittaker looks confident and relaxed to me.
He does. He really does.
So here's the thing. I feel like I have lost one fight in my career.
Okay.
That was to Justin McDonald.
Okay.
I for sure lost 3 rounds, probably lost 4 rounds.
Hunter says you lost all 5.
Hunter doesn't know what he's talking about.
That was the funniest thing when you said that.
Okay.
Dad, you lost all 5 rounds.
I did not lose that
Thanks,
first
son.
round.
Thanks,
Sorry,
son.
I didn't lose that first round. But whatever. It's here nor there. But here's the thing. But regardless, Justin decisively beat me in that fight.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So instantly, though, I go, I would like to fight him again.
Yeah.
What would go different? Well, I can go back to you start going to moments where good stuff happened in your fight, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Whittaker had moments. Whittaker made a lot of mistakes that he goes, if I clean those up, it's already a way more competitive fight, right?
Okay. Yep.
When you can look and say, okay, I can change that. I can do A, B, and C. Like for me with Justin too, like I got closer to finishing him than he ever did to me.
Yeah,
That triangle in the fifth round. The triangle in the 5th round was the closest that either of us got. So I was the
deep.
closest. And so in my mind, I can go, I can gain confidence from that, right?
Yeah.
He had a distinct wrestling and strength advantage on me.
Yeah.
I can go work on my wrestling and my takedown defense and my own takedown offense and my strength and conditioning to say I feel better and stronger, and you fill those holes for a specific opponent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whittaker actually, I feel like, has done a very, very good job of he waited. He probably could have had this rematch sooner, but he knew he needed to grow in some areas for it to be possible for him to win.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he did enough to close that gap, 1. And 2, I don't, and he's even admitted he's gotten better. And I don't know if people have realized it too. Izzy, okay, the 3 Nigerians, right? So we have the 3 African champions, Usman, Ngannou, and Izzy. They're all getting better as champions.
That's impressive.
Like Ngannou did something that nobody outside of Extreme Couture who saw it did something that nobody else on the planet knew he could do.
Yes. Wrestle.
Usman is now a knockout artist. He went from being a dominant wrestler to a knockout artist.
And probably one of the strongest mindsets inside that cage.
But he had that before.
He always had that. Yeah, you're right.
But he's adding tools, right?
He's adding tools. Yep.
So here's the question. We've seen this where everybody's like, Izzy. Well, everybody's like, yeah, Jan gave us the blueprint.
Yeah.
Jan had 30 pounds on it. Robert Whittaker doesn't have 30 pounds on it.
And that was, I thought that was impressive by Izzy to say, hey, I'm gonna step up and I want to fight the light heavyweight champ. That's a ballsy move.
I like it. I mean,
I love
like
it.
the challenge. I mean, it's easy to stay safe, right? It's easy to stay safe.
And he could have. He easily could have too. Yep.
So Whittaker, for me though, Whittaker. So the question is, did Whittaker close that gap? And is his wrestling so much more dominant that Izzy hasn't been able to close that gap? So there's 2 gaps, right? Whittaker's grappling. He's better than Izzy. And then Izzy striking is better than Whittaker's. Has Whittaker closed the gap on Izzy striking? And has he lengthened the gap enough on his grappling? You follow what I'm saying?
I follow. I'm picking it up.
That's the question. And you seem to say no. I don't think so either. But I'm cheering for Robert Whittaker.
I think everybody's cheering for Whittaker. Everybody that I've seen posting, everybody is like, Izzy. They think Izzy's going to win, but everybody's cheering for
Weirdly, Izzy's just not very well liked.
It's great. Yeah, it's crazy because the guy's one of the most talented guys in the UFC right now.
Charismatic, finisher.
But it's just something about his personality. It's just like, dude.
I respect him, but
how about his little NFT chain thing of him knocking out Whittaker?
He's just promoting. He's just promoting himself. He's just promoting the NFTs. He's just promoting the UFC. He's doing his job. There's a reason why everybody's talking about his new deal, how he's one of the highest paid UFC or MMA fighters of all time now.
Yeah.
So I had this conversation with a fighter this morning as well. So I am picking Izzy to win. I am cheering for Whittaker, and I'm hoping Whittaker has figured something out.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't see his path to victory, really. I don't think he wins a decision against Izzy unless he can just hold him. I do not think he knocks him out. And wouldn't it be wild if he submitted him? All those things are pretty hard for me to. I mean, Robert Whittaker is a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Is he? I didn't know that.
He is. I mean, that's probably his path to victory is submission.
Well,
I don't think he knocks him out.
Plus 1,800 if you think he's going to do it.
Well, I'm not. I'm just saying that's his highest percentage. I think his best chance is to submit him, get him in a scramble and catch a neck or something, right?
Yeah.
But the MMA and the UFC and all these organizations, that is not your payday. Your payday is what you put into your brand. They're just giving you the platform to let people know who you are. Conor McGregor makes a ton of money because he maximized his opportunity on that platform for his brand. Izzy's doing the same thing. You ready for this? I know this might make a lot of people mad. Francis Ngannou making $600,000. Maybe that's all he's worth in the UFC.
It's unfortunate, but
he doesn't do a lot of media. Nope. He doesn't do a lot of self-promoting. He doesn't do you're getting paid a good amount of money, a lot of money. I understand it's not like NFL money or NBA money or MLB money, but as a professional athlete, $600,000, you are making a lot of money. And I know people want to compare it to boxing. Stop. Boxing's dead. Nobody cares about boxing in this country.
Earl Spence and Urgas, did I say his name right? That'll be a good one.
Case in point, you didn't even know how to say his name.
Yeah, I don't know how to. It's a weird name.
But you know what I mean? Nobody really cares about boxing in this country.
They don't. Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore. Why is that? Well, because whatever. Don't compare paydays to a sport that's dying, that's trying to do anything it can to claim relevance to a sport that's the fastest growing sport in the world right now. But these fighters have to understand, it's not the UFC's job to make them rich. The UFC is giving them the opportunity to make themselves rich. They just have to market themselves and go take it.
And we've talked about it on the podcast before.
To my point, Izzy's doing that.
You know what you make before you go into the fight, right? When you sign your name, you know what you're making. So why are you complaining about it? If you don't like it, go to one of the other organizations.
What they want when they're complaining about Francis making $600K as the champion, Tyson Fury makes $32 million and stuff. But guess what? Unless you're a boxing fan, you can't even tell me what titles Tyson Fury holds.
Tyson Fury
WBC or
Tyson Fury's also marketable. He's all over social media. He's promoted himself.
That's right. But like Canelo, right? He's a huge star in Mexico.
Francis could be one of the highest paid athletes right now if he did those things. If he promoted himself a little bit more.
And by the way, I'm not talking about talking smack either.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk smack to be marketable.
Correct.
You just have to get out there and do stuff. By the way, doing the new Jackass movie, great move.
Great move. Yeah. Phenomenal move.
You got to do stuff like that.
Dude, yep.
Remember Conor McGregor? Like he was going to be a bad guy in Call of Duty. He was everywhere.
Yeah.
He was everywhere. He said maybe so much so he was saying yes to everything. But that's how he got rich. Fighting didn't make him rich. It gave him the platform. And then, by the way, when you become that big of a star, then the UFC has to come back and pay you for your time. And they have to pay you entertainment value money, not MMA money.
And look at where he's at right now. The position he's put himself in, he hasn't been that great of a fighter his last few fights. And he's still, if he jumps on another card, he's still going to make a buttload of money.
Still going to make 60 to 80 million.
Even if he gets knocked out in his next fight.
Yep.
What did we say? 2 more fights, right? He just had one. He's got one more, right?
Yep.
Is that what we said last time? So he's got one more fight that he can maximize, in our opinion.
Yeah.
That Nate Diaz fight is dangling. That ain't going away.
Dude, the UFC wants that so bad.
Huge.
But anyways, to my point, Izzy, the reason why he's so paid, though, he's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
He's trolling people on social media. He does interviews. He does like him, hate him, whatever. You tune in to watch him.
Exactly. It's kind of like Floyd Mayweather.
Let's be honest. Dude, everybody wanted Game to win except Francis and his teammates. I picked Francis.
Yeah.
Right? Because I felt like the narrative was so weird because everybody was already making plans for Gain, and we've seen that story play out time and time again.
I didn't change my pick, but I definitely changed my confidence level the day of the weigh-ins on that fight.
Yeah. So
didn't change the pick, but yeah. It should be a good card tomorrow. I'd love to see Bobby Knuckles pull it off. I'd love to see Whittaker pull this off and get this win because I think it'd be huge.
Yeah, you ready? If Bobby Knuckles pulls it off, the trilogy fight is going to be massive.
If he pulls
hopefully all the COVID nonsense and stuff can be lifted. They could do it in Australia or New Zealand. How sick would that be?
It's getting lifted everywhere.
Hey, what do you think of RDA and Fiziv's fight just got moved to the co-main event for UFC 272?
Ooh, I love that fight.
They were headlining the fight night and they just moved it.
Dude, that's a good move, I think. I love that fight. I don't know about you, but that's a phenomenal fight.
Yeah, it's going to be bonkers.
Who do you got? Quick prediction.
Fiziv.
You think Fiziv?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, it's still on Tapology as they were the main event on that fight night.
All right, Doug.
All right. So tomorrow night, come check us out. Steel Fist Fight Night. We'll be there watching Zack's teammate. Yeah. See you guys later.
Tony Lopez is going to sleep. We out.